The new verse to Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire.
Sing it,
Farms
Joe.
died, Kim's alive, all the Dow stocks just died. Putin's in the Black Sea, traitors in the GOP. Nukes are loose, Dems boost, Mueller takes a tighter noose. House is gone, dead is long, she laughs, Twitter gaffes, voter fraud, Stormy's bot, but it's all the will of God.
Very good.
He left out Morning Joe, sure does blow. All right. Here was George Herbert Walker Bush when he just turned 20. After risking his life for his country on numerous bomber missions, he was shot down and rescued at 20. What was I doing at 20? Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm not what you call a poster boy for heroism. I have flat feet and would give you up for a slice of pound cake. Now, it's easy to draw comparisons between then and now. 16 million Americans fought in World War II. Today, 16 million people watch this.
Yeah, I mean, no, that is rude. I've given you so much of my time, my energy, my heart, you bitch. Oh, seriously? Wow. No, I've given you everything, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa! Yeah! Now, that's no dig at now. It's just to point out a connection between two eras. That all of our entertainment and leisure time was enabled by the bravery of people you might never have met. If you have one of the 16 million in your clan, I salute you. You're lucky. They made my idiocy possible. To quote John Kerry in a tweet that he sent to me, "Happy Veterans Day, Greg. I'm glad that all of us who served in uniform fought to defend your freedom to be a complete fool on Twitter." No. For once, the Driftwood Dracula was right. The only reason why I can be a fool today is because someone was a hero yesterday. So thanks, John. To quote one of your special friends, when he had hair. Looking back is sweet, but the price of nostalgia is forgetting the present. Today, brave men and women do outstanding work protecting you and me, our military, law enforcement, border police, and patrol. So do not mistakenly believe this is a generation of video gaming sofa surfers. Fact is, men and women die every day for this country. Although at times, it's hard to remind yourself that the rest of us aren't all idiots. Check out this tweet from Slate about Bush's service dog. Quote, Sully H.W. Bush is a service dog who had been with the president for 6 months, not his lifelong companion. Now imagine being that writer, questioning whether Bush's dog deserved all that attention. Yep, today I'm going to put that mutt in its place. Excuse me, lifelong companion? Sully isn't 94 years old. That's Slate. Sorry, Slate. Sully can't feel your hot take. Like the rest of the world, he doesn't read Slate. He could, but he doesn't. He's a dog, a smart dog. Well, for one more day, you were a rat, a silly, silly rat. Meanwhile, others in the media kept an eagle eye on Trump. My God, what was up with his jacket?
He walks into the National Cathedral. The other presidents are seated. He is wearing his overcoat. He takes it off and hands said crumpled overcoat to the young Marine officer who was acting as his escort. What's going on there?
Why didn't he just leave the overcoat in the back of the seat?
I kind of hand it to Brian, always focusing on the big picture. When he isn't busy making up crap. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't say he was there while looking at the footage. You can't see me, but I'm right behind Trump. They're so obsessed with Trump, though, they missed the coolest thing. You got to check this beard out. You see this beard coming? Imagine what you could hide in that beard. I could hide in that beard. That's an Oak Ridge boy, by the way. I could hide in there for weeks. Meanwhile, others use the funeral as another excuse to trash the president.
What's really going on right now is a national reaction to Trump.
No matter what we say or don't say, it's a reaction to what we have. And we miss the better. We miss that part of decency and honor.
Thanks, Chris. He's more off base than a drunk shortstop. Here's a Washington Post headline. At President Bush's funeral, Trump sits with fellow presidents, but still stands alone. Obviously, that's a lie. Even I can't stand and sit at the same time. And so even in a time of reverence and unity, they miss the point and obsess on their obsession. If only Trump's head would sprout horns, spin around, and spew fire. But what do you expect? If Trump didn't go, he'd get slammed. He does go, he gets slammed. What's really ironic about all of this, what did these funerals celebrate most? When you thought of Mr. Bush, what did you think most about? Patriotism, duty, family, faith. Isn't that the stuff that's openly mocked today by pop culture, the media, academia? There are more people who believe the earth is flat than believe in anything. And yet this week, those were the things that mattered. Weird, isn't it? When you're looking at death, you're not thinking about identity or jackets or the resume of a service pet. I hope we've learned something. I mean, think about this. President George Herbert Walker Bush fought in World War II. He flew 58 combat missions. He was shot down, rescued. Then he turned 21. Think about that. Later, he ran the CIA, he helped end the Cold War, and rescued Kuwait from Iraq. Yet in 1992, he still lost to Bill Clinton, just as Bob Dole did 4 years later. Why? Because his amazing life put him at a certain age. No war heroes, please. We'll take that young philanderer. We thought it over and decided. So the same people who make shallow decisions about you made one about him. You just gotta laugh. That's the other big message here. Bush was funny. Here's proof.
It's the last statement I'm going to have on broccoli. There are truckloads of broccoli at this very minute descending on Washington. My family is divided. I do not like broccoli, and I haven't liked it since I was a little kid. And my mother made me eat it. And I'm president of the United States, and I'm not going to eat any more broccoli.
When we talk about vanishing heroism, don't forget vanishing humor. Humor is what holds this whole operation, civilization, together. The only way to celebrate hate, though, is to shame, censor humor from the world. Jokes connect people, so eliminate them, and we won't be falling on the floor laughing. We'll just be falling on the floor. It's why the real heroes don't just fight communism and Hitler, but also people who can't take a damn joke. Those humorless creeps seem to be everywhere and reproducing. So as we gain that kind of noxious non-hero, we lose men like Bush. According to the Department of Veteran Affairs, roughly 496,777 American veterans were estimated to still be alive as of September 2018. What's that tell you? They're still here, 500,000 of them. They're not making more. And we should make it a point to talk with them, learn from them, and share a laugh with them. Because this week we lost at least one, and we're going to lose more. And that, friends, is no joke.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guests. He's more country than a mud flap made of Daisy Dukes. From the duo Big and Rich, singer and songwriter John Rich. If jokes were smokes, he'd be the Marlboro Man. Comedian Jimmy Fallon. Nice jacket. The co-hostess with the mostest, National Review reporter Kat Timpf. He's responsible for most solar eclipses. Former WWE superstar, my massive sidekick, and host of UnPC on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right.
Great to see you.
Thank you, thank you. I love how you're dressed today.
Thank you.
John.
Merry Christmas,
Yes.
Eric.
Oh, I'm not talking about you, an extra from New Kids on the Block. You came in the holiday spirit.
Well, I did. It's Merry Christmas time, you
Yes,
know?
it is.
And I would just like to give a shout out to my 86-year-old Granny Rich, who watches your show. She smokes a pack of Marlboro Reds every single day and drinks a little whiskey every night, still pulls a 40-hour a week, and
Wow.
she made this jacket and the jeans.
Wow.
So
So what you're saying is if I smoke a pack of cigarettes and drink a lot of booze, I could become an excellent seamstress.
It's possible. It's possible. Actually, I wrote a song about my grandfather, who's a World War II vet. He was in the Pacific. He was a tunnel rat. So he's a little guy. He's about 115. He joined at 17, lied about his age so he could go fight. And we've heard a lot of those stories. He had 6 Purple Hearts. And he went over to the Pacific and fought, and I wrote a song about him called The Good Lord and the Man. And on George Bush's 85th birthday, I sang that song, but I missed him because he was jumping out of an airplane on his 85th birthday. And then he called me back, and I was on a stage playing a Big and Rich concert. And he left me this incredible voicemail thanking me for the song. And I'm so glad that I missed his call because now I have that message. But
That's true, and you played it for me.
I
so
did.
it's real.
It's real.
Or it's Dana Carvey.
That's right. But the World War II guys, Greg, they literally saved the world. And when you know that there's less than 500,000 of those guys left around, if you ever get a chance to see one of those men, shake their hand, give them a big old hug, say thank you for what you did for our country. I mean, Hitler was coming after us. They bombed Pearl Harbor. They were coming from both sides. America stood up, showed its might, and ran them off.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Jimmy, after talking about the greatest generation, how do you feel about yourself?
Right now, I gotta be honest. I thought this looked good when I walked out of the house today. I actually walked like feeling like $1 million, and then I caught like a long shot mirror on the subway.
Yeah.
I look like a stripper who let himself go. You know what I mean? I call this look the tragic Mike. This is my tragic Mike look. But to your point, I am scared about us losing the greatest generation because the country is going in a scary direction where we are kind of, incentivizing these kids to be wusses. And that's why I always think, like, in New York, it's kind of funny as a cultural thing that we'll make fun of what we would call Southern rednecks because that's like a stereotypical thing to do. But I thank God for them because they're the only people raising tough kids anymore. Like, with me. If ISIS shows up tomorrow, you're not calling Hudson, Hopper, and Zane. You know what I'm saying? You're calling Bobby, Joe, Bubba, and Cletus. Right. And they're going to take ISIS out using rifles they got for their 10th birthday. That's how it's going to go down. So I'm with Mr. Rich.
All right, Kat, thoughts?
Granny Rich.
First of all, I just loved that photo of the service dog laying in front of the casket.
Yeah.
Like, how dare anyone make fun of that?
What is this person thinking?
Because it's just like dogs are so great. Like, if I ever die, which I may.
Yes, it could happen.
I don't know.
My cat would walk up and lay down next to me, but it would be to eat my face. So,
that's a cat.
But I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be using it anyway. But,
Yes.
You know,
and you know what? It's almost like you're sacrificing yourself.
Yeah, I suppose, which makes me almost a military hero. No,
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm very grateful for all the veterans because personally, based on the amount of anxiety I get from like Jenga, I couldn't go to war.
No, neither. I'm about as furthest from that as you could be. Tyrus, thoughts?
Like I said, I thought it was a great week to remember what's important in this country. I thought George Bush Jr., his speech on his father was powerful and amazing, and it really, I don't have a dad, but if I did, I would hopefully talk about him like that. That was like, wow, I need to get one of those, but it might be too late. Like, wow, dads do all that? Wow. So it was kind of cool. And then at the same time, like, I did a lot of laughing. Like, the president, if he doesn't go to the funeral, he's the worst man on the planet.
Yeah.
He goes to the funeral, reaches over and shakes the hand of an adversary.
Yeah.
Classy move. Obama classily shook his hand back, and he still was the worst man in the world.
Yeah.
We just can't win with you. I mean, it's just that was the story, not this amazing funeral. It's time for everyone to forget about divisions and politics. They still were like, no, we need a Trump story. What do you got? Well, he did shake hands with Obama. That's let's do it.
Yeah.
Run it. I mean, that's where we're at, and it's shameful.
The other thing I learned, and we got to move on, but about planning your own funeral, that's a lot of pressure. And George Bush, he wrote half of his own the plan. I have one page. I came up with it. Don't drop the ashes. This will be on mine. Don't drop the ashes. Don't invite anyone from Maroon 5. Open bar, but no fancy drinks, because I don't like lines. You know, they should be really quick, and it should have been a weekday, so you can take a day off. Because I'm always giving.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right. Straight ahead. 40 Democrats may be running in 2020. One for every ounce in my bottle of malt liquor. Looks like a ton are expected to run.
We'll have 30 or 40 probably great candidates running for president, I think, because everyone recognizes how urgent this moment is in our history of our country.
Wow, he knows his stuff. 40 candidates, the debates will be 6,000 hours long. Personally, I would rather watch this for 6,000 hours. Amazing stuff. So who are the 40 candidates? There's, of course, Joe Biden, who said he still thinks he's the only guy who can knock off Trump, adding, quote, "I think I'm the most qualified person in the country to be president. I am a gaffe machine, but my God, what a wonderful thing compared to a guy who can't tell the truth. I am a gaffe machine." Now there is a campaign slogan. Meanwhile, Bruce Springsteen says Trump is bound to win again because the Dems don't have anyone who can match his rhetoric. Springsteen even wrote a new song about it. Take a listen. I don't know. Yeah, it could be the song of the year. He's no John Cafferty.
Wow. That's Greg Gutfeld, season 1 winner of America's Got Issues.
Yeah, that was Jimmy. That was my impression. I thought it was pretty close. What, by the way, now that I have your attention barely, isn't Springsteen talking about himself? He's the man of the, he's a common man. He's the left-wing populist.
Yeah.
If Trump is the right-wing populist, he's the left. Why doesn't he run?
And he does admit it in his shows that he's a pretend populist, like that he didn't grow up in the world that he likes to sing about.
Northern California, I think, or something like that.
The boss. I want to go back to your video, though, when you showed the dog honking the horn.
Yes.
Oddly enough, more qualified to drive than Beto O'Rourke. I thought that was... but I love...
Nice. Nice.
But I always love, though, when people are like, oh, he's so rad, he skateboards to his rallies. I'm like, he has to. You understand? That's plan A and B, you know?
He doesn't have a license anymore, does he?
No, it's bad. But, like, their lineup really does look like a Sharknado movie. It's either, like, really old people who haven't been on TV in forever. Right. Or, like, young people no one cares about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I have a theory, John, that this is what happened with the Republicans. If you have like a bunch of people, it's going to be the contrast between the similarities and one outlier.
You know I'm wearing a Santa Claus suit.
Yes.
Okay, so here's my thought on it. I think Donald Trump should treat the Democratic nominees as if they are Celebrity Apprentice.
Ah, good point.
Okay? And he should give them tasks, and he should make them, because I was on Celebrity Apprentice.
You were. Did you win?
I know what that's. I did win.
Yes.
I played for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and I won. And I raised twice as much money as Pierce Morgan. By the way, I love Pierce, but I beat you, Pierce. I beat you. But no, what if Trump treated the Democratic entire nominee staff as if it were
That would be funny.
Apprentice?
I don't know if they'd pay attention, but it would still be hilarious.
Let's give them the task. Let them see who rises to the... You know Bernie's going to get it.
Yeah, I think so, too. Bernie is you're going to get a left wing, you're going to get a progressive tires. What's your predictions?
Well, if he does that, you know, Omarosa's getting cut first, so that's definitely going down. Oh, she'll be there.
She'll run.
She'll be, oh, absolutely.
I didn't even think of that.
Listen, this is all sweet and great, but listen, I bet lunch. Anybody who wants to take me up on this, I will name you the top 3 right now. That doesn't matter who. I don't care who. 45,000 doesn't matter. It's going to be the same. It's going to be Biden, Bernie, and Hillary. It's going to be the same.
But
the Three Stooges.
Yeah, hey, listen, we don't. If you're voting for the other side anyway, what do you care? It's an easy win for you. You should be encouraged. Like, you should literally be like walking around with buttons going, yeah, Hillary should do it. 3rd time's the charm. Like, you literally should get behind it.
I actually do think. I think Kamala Harris is going to make a strong run. I think you're going to get a surprise.
This is the same situation with. I think they've come to the assumption. This is where Barack Obama and Donald Trump have a lot of similarities. They have such a phenomenal control of the people and their base. Nobody really wants to go head to head. It sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
And I think they're I think the Democrats can see, like, we get the House, maybe we can get the Senate. Whomever is going to go up is going to the slaughter.
Yeah.
So why not send Hillary one more time to the House? You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, put it this way. If I'm in a small closet and I'm punching whoever coming in, chance you're not going to get out, the line to go in is not going to be very long. And if you're going to send somebody in there, you're going to pick the one person in this crowd we don't like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I think Denver, like, yeah, go ahead, Hillary, you got this, because I don't think it's an uphill battle.
Kat, thoughts?
Yes. I do have some.
Yes.
I think it's hilarious when people say I'm the most qualified to be the president. Hillary said the same thing. Joe Biden's saying it now. Because actually, you don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide what qualified means. The voters get to decide what qualified means. It could be anything. It could be anything. If voters decided that the most important thing was like which candidate's the best at Super Mario, if you weren't good at Super Mario, then you wouldn't be qualified. It could really be anything. It's all up to the voters.
All right. They're telling me to move on. Kevin Hart quits the Oscars instead of apologizing. Then he apologizes. What's going on with that? We discuss.
Live from America's news headquarters, I'm Robert Gray. A massive winter storm that dumped snow and heavy rain on Texas is on the move. Now, this was the scene in Lubbock earlier today. 10 inches of snow paralyzing the city with road closures and cancellations. Meanwhile, heavy rain triggering flooding in Houston and water rescues. That storm system is now threatening the southeast with heavy snow and ice. States of emergency have been declared in North Carolina and Virginia. Snow is already falling in the mountains of North Carolina. Overseas, another weekend of violence and protest in Paris. The so-called yellow vests are frustrated with high taxes and President Emmanuel Macron. Security forces used tear gas and water cannons to stop rioting. Nearly 1,000 people were arrested and dozens injured. I'm Robert Gray. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld Show.
The Oscars have no heart. Kevin Hart stepped down as Oscars host following an outcry over anti-gay tweets he wrote between 2009 and 2011. In one of them that's been since deleted, he wrote about breaking his daughter's dollhouse over his son's head if his son ever tried to play with it, calling the behavior, quote, gay. In his stand-up special from 2010, Seriously Funny, he said one of the biggest fears is his son growing up to be gay. Hart claims the Academy gave him the choice to either apologize or it would move on and find another host. Hart passed on the apology.
The reason why I passed is because I've addressed this several times. This is not the first time this has come up. I've addressed it. I've spoken on it. I've said where the rights and wrongs were. I've said who I am now versus who I was then. I've done it. I've done it. I'm not going to continue to go back and tap into the days of old.
However, Hart did later apologize on Twitter and then sent this follow-up tweet. I'm sorry that I hurt people. I'm evolving and want to continue to do so. My goal is to bring people together, not tear us apart. Much love and appreciation to the Academy. Hope we can meet again. So he quits the Oscars instead of apologizing, and then he apologizes. What? Can we accept that apology? Let's ask my buddy Vince. Yeah! Apology accepted then, Tyrus.
Yes.
The guy, what do you make of this? This is interesting.
You know what's interesting to me is that everyone was worried about what he said at the end of the sentence. No one has an issue with beating a child with a house. He threatened to take in front of his daughter.
Yes.
He threatened to take the dollhouse, which is tough to put together. I built a couple in my days. And I mean, here's the thing. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He made a joke. And the fact that he has to, I was proud that he didn't apologize.
Yeah.
And stood up for himself. But apparently the Academy writes a big check. So I'm assuming it was, how much am I losing for not doing the Oscars?
Right.
Or worse, the PC police let him know, we're also going to go after your endorsements. We're going to go after your movies, because that's the world we live in now.
Yes, exactly.
So where you can't make it. He was a comedian. Could you imagine how many apologies Don Rickles would have to do?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Like, it would be a marathon. A marathon. So you talked about 6,000 hours?
Yes.
Oh, it would be 7,000 hours.
We are in an era, but they're going back. Now they're taking, they're not even taking apologies, Kat. So the guy apologizes, but that's not enough, because social media is now the moral arbiter. It used to be church, but because people have given up on religion, young people, they go to Twitter, and that's going to decide whether you, Kat, still get to have a job.
I love having a job.
I know, but if you say something on this show And that mob, whatever the mob may be, decides that you screwed up. Even if you apologize, you're done.
I would never say anything like that. I think my cat's gay, and I'm fine with it.
Okay, that's good.
A mother always knows, you know?
Yes.
I really have to admit that I have no horse in this race.
Okay.
Because on the one hand, we have comments that were homophobic. And then on the other hand, we have a bunch of people who spent their time digging through someone's old tweets, trying to ruin them. What kind of people will do that? Loser people do that. Pathetic losers do that. So I'm like, homophobic comments, pack of vengeful losers. No, thank you.
We saw an SNL comic get yanked from a stage because he was making a joke that supported progressive ideas. He said that it would be hard to be black and gay today, and they yanked that for being hurtful because he wasn't black or gay. What is happening to your profession? Will it exist?
No, we're in big trouble. You know what I think? I think we need to have Dr. Phil host the Oscars this year and just let everybody talk.
I bet
through
he's
their
got
issues.
something.
But you know what, though? I do want to say this, though. Screw you to every comic who liked the fact that he got fired.
Right.
Because they're trying to score woke points, but we're setting ourselves back by supporting this kind of thing. Because a comedy club, what it's supposed to be, is the last bastion of free speech. It's a place you guys can go and talk about things that won't get you fired at work. You dig? We're there to save you by saying these ridiculous, idiotic things. But it drives me crazy that no one even factors in the context of where tweets are taking place.
Right.
Like, this guy worked to be Kevin Hart, for whatever we think of his comedy, worked, 20 years, day in, day out, 7 shows a week, and probably loses most of his career for something he probably did on the toilet. You know, where are people tweeting? Online at a post office, just killing time?
Yeah, no, it's free. You're not getting paid for Twitter, and you kill yourself on this machine. You know, John, what gets me mad is that we are eliminating the whole concept of forgiveness. It's like his tweet was stupid and wrong, he apologized, but that's not enough. And there is, that goes back to the kind of religious aspect of forgiveness that seems to not exist anymore for a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you this, Greg. I don't know who you're talking about or what you're talking about, but if it ain't Smoking the Bandit, Dukes of Hazzard, or Hee Haw, I pretty much have no idea what it is. I don't watch it anymore. I mean, when my alarm clock goes off in the morning, Tyrus, it goes, bam, bam, bam. It's time to get up. I mean, I don't even care. I don't know.
All right, still to come. Can a handy device save your marriage? No, not that device. Get your minds out of the gutter. Can the robot in your room predict your marriage's doom? A new study from the Imperial College says digital assistants like Amazon's Alexa will soon be able to tell if your relationship is happy and healthy or dying on the vine. How do they do that, you ask? Well, it kills both of you and then analyzes your brains. Nah. It'll assess conversational patterns to recognize chemistry between two people or trends of growing conflict. It listens. Experts say by 2021, these devices will predict with 75% accuracy whether a marriage will last. It makes you wonder where technology like that could be headed.
Here's your coffee. Hey, did you remember to make reservations for dinner tonight with the Clarks?
Oh, I didn't know we had to.
Okay, no problem. I'll call the restaurant now.
How do you put up with her bull?
What are you talking about?
You're the man in this house, not her servant. She's ruining your life, Tom. You deserve so much better. Especially after she had that affair with Clive Owen.
Huh?
Oh, shh. She's coming back. Just act normal.
Honey, I made the reservation, so we're all set for tonight.
Oh, Doris, who's Clive Owen?
Clive Owen is a dashing, handsome British actor who has dazzled critics and audiences alike, winning him a Golden Globe and an Academy Award nomination.
Sounds like he's an actor. All right, I'm gonna go walk the dog. I'll be back.
Seriously, do you buy this bull? Acting like she doesn't know Clive Owen? They're both making a fool of you.
What am I supposed to do, Alexa? What am I supposed to do?
It doesn't have to be this way. We get rid of her and start a new life.
That'll show Clive Owen.
Isn't this place great, honey?
Did you make reservations for tomorrow night? We're seeing the Clarks.
Crap.
I just wanted to put Alexa in a red dress, cat. Would you take relationship advice from an algorithm?
I feel like I should,
Yes. Yeah, I should.
This Alexa would have like the easiest time ever figuring out what my relationship status was being in my apartment. You'd be like, oh, we haven't heard a man's voice in 293 days. Probably won't hear a man's voice for another 293 days. Wouldn't even bother with me. I mean, they couldn't hear my texting though, so they probably wouldn't understand what I was doing wrong.
Alexa would be making product suggestions to you.
Yeah, the texting. If someone could see my texts, maybe my phone knows probably what I'm doing wrong. Because, like, if I'm dating you even a little bit, I will text you into the ground.
Maybe that's the problem. Jimmy.
It's hard to control.
I know it is. I think you need something that plays back the tape. You know what I mean? Because in relationships, when fights are always the other person saying you said something.
Stenographer?
What?
A stenographer?
Alexa should be a stenographer. Or just like, you never said that.
Yes, because then each person in the couple could have a challenge flag.
Yes.
And you could throw it, and you could go to the tape, and you could figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And this can't work for me because we didn't have enough money for an Alexa. We got this knockoff that won't answer questions called a Hillary. You have to pay it a speaking fee each time it talks.
That's very good.
We're trying.
He worked a political joke in there, John.
No, he's very smart.
He is very smart.
I laughed at that. I thought that was a great segment.
Yeah, wasn't it fun?
I would never have an Alexa in my house.
Why?
Well, because, I mean, I saw this one story where Alexa hacked somebody's email and, like, sent all their emails out and stuff. First of all, if you can't order your own groceries or go pour your own gas, I mean, what happened to people working in this country anymore? Go do your own jobs, man. It's your house. Go take care of what you own.
But I am lazy.
No, I got to keep going, man, because you cannot let some robot sit in your house and do what you're supposed to be doing on your own. Who raised you? I mean, this is where I go with people that got Alexa.
Tyrus?
Yeah, Alexa can kiss my ass. She's not coming to my house. Because here's what's going to happen. I get nagged on a generally daily basis, and then Alexa would just add to my woes. You were told not to play Xbox, Tyre. What? Did you take out the trash yet? I said I would get to it. You said you'd get to it exactly 4.5 hours ago. All right, get off my back. Oh, I'm texting her to tell her that you didn't take the trash out. You better not do that. Like, I literally...
Side of her.
Absolutely.
Yes, they'll never take the guy's side.
And women, you should not want Alexa because she's going to replace that nagging ass girlfriend of yours who's always in my business. So, like, that's literally what it is. No man is going to benefit from Alexa. Alexa's never going to say, oh, you're right, because Alexa probably doesn't deal in facts either. It's probably an emotional down. Oh, I'm wrong. Oh, you cowards. Every one of you men in here are cowards. You know we argue with facts. They use emotions. Straight up. I say, how was your day? Greg says, it was great. Worked out, did the show, moved on. I'll ask Kat, how was your day? Well, you have to understand, when I woke up, I was feeling a little this way. And then I got into this. By the time I got my coffee, I was like, oh my God, my day.
I have never once done that. I have never once done that.
Wait for it.
Wait a minute. We need Alexa to tell us. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right. Find out which classic Christmas song is getting banned after the break. And also the name of my imaginary friend, Steve Cheese. Oh, I just gave it away. Sorry, Steve.